What are these, Johns? This is the camber we're going for. See that? Oh. Let's do that again. That's better. Look at this, big spline, all-wheel drive Corvette. Oh, for crying out loud. It's the overflow for it's the expansion tank for the coolant system. We got to remove it to do the coilovers, and you were booling it, and you got it just cooking.
Ah?
Now I can't take the tank.
I drove it for half a minute.
Well, it feels hot, and now I can't move it.
You literally popped your rad cap off the 350 when it was at 400 degrees.
Yeah, it blew the tent off of our whole area, our whole pit.
We just got roof, cement, it's fine. Pop it.
Well, maybe I'll start on that side then.
That would probably be the better idea. Or you go do door bars and I'll do this. Huh?
No. What's going on, guys? It's been a while because I was over at FD in Orlando. And now we're back in Canada, which we had to go through a couple things because of COVID. But now that we're back, we got our Corvette on the hoist and we're about to do a whole bunch of stuff to it. The first thing that we're doing to it is installing some Silvers Coilovers. The second thing will probably be Mini Mantis kit. The third thing's gonna be, installing our re-drilled 5x114 and ARP studded wheel bearings. So I did 4 of these. Do you need to do this? Do you have to do this? Absolutely not. Is there better ways to do it? Maybe. But because we own a shop that this is super easy. We went ahead and did that, so we're gonna swap these over. Then we're gonna throw on some Kansai wheels. The fourth thing that we're gonna do is do a caliper bracket for the rear, which is going to use a 4-piston Wilwood caliper and a bracket that gets sandwiched between the bearing. It'll be the first of its kind because the knuckles are really weirdly designed, not weirdly designed, they're not designed to hold a second set of calipers very well. So the available dual caliper brackets hold a smaller caliper, and I really wanted to use a big one. So I discovered, since we have the Grand Sport, which has the Z06 brake package, that if you have Z06 brakes, the rotor's big enough that it'll hold a Wilwood caliper and still have clearance on the knuckles. So this is going to be important, but you're also only going to be able to run this dual caliper bracket if you have Z06 calipers. Then for the fifth thing, we're going to do rear toe arm replacement, and then also a toe gain bracket that bolts to the factory knuckle. Kind of a 2-for-1, but the toe arm is important because a factory replacement, last time I looked, was like 170 US, I believe, and they're kind of hard to get. So we want to make something that you buy once, and then if you ever need to replace something, you're only ever going to be buying like a rod end, or if you hit something, you only end up buying like a body, which you're looking at like $25 if you need to replace a rod end, or like $35 if you need to replace the body. So it might be a little more expensive up front, like 250 bucks-ish for both sides or something, but then anything after that will be much cheaper. So anyways, we're gonna get into that. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. We're not gonna do it all in one video. We're gonna do like one thing per video, like coilovers for this one, and so on and so forth. We'll drag it on. We need some content. So let's begin. I'm starting on this side because on the other side I have to remove the coolant surge tank, and it's really hot, so I can't take it off until it cools down. But on this side, I got good access to everything, so let's just get right into it. That is what I was trying to do. So first you got to take off the upper control arms. You got to disconnect the sway bar link. You got to take the nut off the top of the shock. You got to take the bolts off the bottom of the shock. We'll have to do that on both sides. Then we're going to drop the leaf spring, which goes from one side of the car to the other. And once you do that and get rid of the hardware involved with that, the brackets and stuff, we can just throw our coilover up in there. Do that on all 4 corners basically. The fronts are easy. The rears are a little trickier just because there's a lot more stuff around it. But yeah, that's as easy as the fronts are. Okay, now the top. Could totally impact this from the top. But I was weighing out the difference of lowering the hoist, impacting it off. Picture it, I'd still be going down. I'd probably be down by now. I'd just be putting the impact on it. Ah, it's spinning. What do they want you to put on there? There we go. So once we disconnect the other side, that'll be free. Should be able to move the coolant port now. Should have cleaned my box. Don't look. It's not my fault. Upper control arms, some are good. And then, what are these Johns? There's our shock. Delete. Ah, I think they gotta come out. They're the rubber bushings for the tops of these shocks. I'm pretty sure they gotta come out. So. This thing's a bit suspicious. Well, you live and you learn. I should have taken the sway bar link off of the bar side, not the arm side. So, done a lot of things on these cars, but I haven't done coilovers. Cars that I've worked on have already had coilovers installed. So, yeah, we need to release the pressure so I can pop the link off. Oh, our 14K front, 10K rear coilovers. I am planning on maintaining my sway bar, so that's why for this setup, I'm running a 14K. If you were not running a sway bar to get good clearance on your wheels, I would suggest an 18K or maybe even a 20K. That way you could run without a sway bar and still have decent stability, but I really prefer running one, so we're gonna keep it and run a 14 up front. To install it, I mean, I could put the lower back in first and then do this after, or vice versa. I don't think it really matters. You want to sauce me one of those little nuts there, Mr. Jack? We will also be going to extended brake lines from Drift HQ when we install our Mini Mantis kit. It's going to be putting a lot of tension on the factory brake lines, kind of like how I have right now. It's not too bad, but we will be changing those out for longer ones. They're about 3 inches longer, give us lots of clearance and travel, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm just realizing this has an Allen head on it, so I'm gonna tighten it now before I put it up inside the car, because I won't be able to get it. I guarantee it. Reconnect the uppers, reconnect the sway bar, and then the front's done. Just the leaf spring was a bit of a, wasn't bad. Hit Jack in the knee when it came down, but his knee was already bad, so it don't matter. Collateral damage, it's fine. I wonder what you have to do to get this one off. I could watch a video, or I could just try it and then, you know, see what happens. I think I could probably get the shock out without really doing anything. but I feel like you gotta like disconnect the lower or something. And maybe the tow arm, because it's kind of in the way. Definitely in the way. That's what we'll do. We'll see if we can run it. Hammer, and we're gonna need a 13 on an electric ratchet with an extension. Done. That was way easier. Brutal. So that bushing was all swollen. That's why it was so much harder. The bushing was so swollen, it was stuck on the lower mount. Swollen bushings, they'll get you. Lower's got to come off. So if we just marker the eccentric bolt, drop it like it's hot. Cool, well, that was easy. Throw that back up, bolts back in, potentiometers back on, coilovers in, then we're done. So we've got our lower control arms back in, potentiometer back connected. We're about to install the coilovers, and I know that the only way that you can adjust the dampening is with this extension through the floor. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna blast a hole. Is it gonna work? I think so. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna go through fiberglass first, and then through the carpet. So that's just the fiberglass. Feels like I'm against carpet right now. I'm assuming it's carpet, that is. Oh, we have made contact to the other side. Looks like carpet to me. So the install is complete. We're just going to start off with a baseline ride height, matching the distance on the front from the wheel arch to the bottom of the wheel bearing to the bottom of the center bore. On the front, it's about 18 inches. On the back, we're around 17 right now, so I'm going to match it, put the car on the ground and see where we're at, and then we're going to know where we need to go from there. I think it's lower, might be close. Hey, you gotta roll it forward and back. It's still on the hoist arm too. We'll fix it. Okay, step number one on our long process of modifying this Corvette. Our coilover, our Silvers coilover install. You can see in the back when we pop that hole through with the 90-degree drill. Perfect, absolutely perfect. We went full hard and then 10 clicks back. Don't know if this is going to be a good preset or not, but what we're going to do is try it out, and we can always adjust the dampening from there. I kept the ride height. I think we dropped it maybe half an inch from factory. This is not the final ride height, but I do appreciate an easy car for putting on the hoist and driving into my driveway, which is kind of on a ramp. So I mean, if I do go a bit lower, it's not going to be crazy. The install was really easy. Silvers did a good job making a good coilover for this car. Everything about them was really nice to work on. Changing the ride height while everything was bolted in, nothing was hard to turn or anything. So overall, really happy with the experience, and we're about to go for a drive and see how it feels. To be totally honest, actually that bump did feel pretty good. I was about to say it feels identical. I think on the track is where you really start to feel the difference. And the great thing is, if I didn't like something about it, I can adjust the dampening. I could even change the spring rate, but I think as far as the spring rate goes, I chose that spring rate for a reason, so I'm not going to change that. The dampening is what I may end up changing. So far, it feels very similar to stock. Slightly stiffer, but not much, which is honestly what I was going for, because a Corvette factory is going to be relatively stiff suspension anyways. Like, this was a performance car. It is the Grand Sport edition, so it does have a lot of the added track benefits when you compare it to a base model or a Z51 model. It's very similar to a Z06, just comes with the 6.2 LS3. It's a steel and fiberglass body rather than an aluminum and fiberglass body, but other than that, they're pretty much the same. It's definitely not slow. You can go to no traction control, and then one more time, competitive driving mode. That's the one where you can really feel what the difference is. We're gonna have to take this baby to the track and do some lapping. That's what I want to do. Enough of this drifting stuff. Hey, I'm just kidding. I do love drifting, but this car is a very capable car. It can pull a lot of G's from factory. You can pull so many G's, in fact, that the camber bolts that they give you will actually completely fail. So they suggest that you put lockout bolts on it. If we're doing any kind of road racing, because it comes with a 275 tire in the front and a 325 tire in the back. Michelin Pilots, you warm these babies up. Those are some big tires. They're one of the better streetable DOT legal tires that you can buy. Obviously you can buy better, but for a car that weighs 30, low 3,000 pound range with this much power and a 50-50 weight balance ratio and that big of tires, this thing is going to pull some serious G's, and I want to know what that feels like. So we're going to take it to the track and do some lapping at some point. It's great for just cruising around if that's what you're using this car for. And that's kind of the motivation behind this car, is keeping it feeling like it is a stock-ish car. Like, I would like to change the wheel out. Obviously I have a handbrake in it now. We're going to put our Mini Mantis kit on it with lower control arms to give us the most amount of angle without going too crazy on the track width. But we're going to really try and maintain that streetable feel with it.
Did you wave back?
I did, but my window wasn't down, so it was less effective. I guess it's like a motorcycle thing.
A Jeep thing, a motorcycle thing.
Yeah.
All the things.
We don't see too many Corvettes around, that's for sure. Car feels great. It's really not any stiffer, which is kind of what I was going for. I mean, I could make it a lot, like, I could make the bump stiffness a lot stiffer if I wanted. Now what am I gonna do? I have two vehicles here. Overall, very happy with the outcome. Ooh. See, if I went any lower, that could have been real bad. Good job, Jack.
I'm just waiting for you to end it.
That's the end of this video.